Hey everybody, it's Andrew with DOPE CFO. I think today we're gonna have an awesome show. Um, we've all got to get started somewhere. When it comes to bookkeeping and cannabis, there's not a lot of resources out there for professionals who are looking to get in the space. Bookkeepers who are interested in helping cannabis companies sometimes have a hard road in front of them at the very beginning, and they generally need to prove that they're much more valuable and can provide compliance that a lot of these in-house bookkeepers simply can't offer. They just don't have the right tools and skills because there's just not a lot out there outside of our program at this point. So with that, today we're going to jump in. We're going to talk to Josie Kuykendall. She's a very accomplished accountant, bookkeeper, CFO, controller, who's got a background in oil and gas, and has also recently gotten into cannabis and is working towards establishing herself in the industry, still pretty new to the industry. So this is going to be a great talk about kind of what it's like to get started, and how to kind of get started building your own business. So why don't we jump in? Josie, tell us a little bit, give me a little bit more details about your background, how you got into accounting in general, and then how you got it kind of into the cannabis and CBD hemp niche, and including being from Texas.
Definitely. Okay. Yeah, I am from a very small town in the Permian Basin, which is West Texas. So pretty much everybody here is in some way, shape, or form part of the oil and gas industry. It's a very finicky industry, though. So we have lots of ups and downs, lots of ups and downs. When it's good, it's good. And when it's bad, it's really bad. Um, so at the beginning of 2020 in April, I actually ended up losing my job, and decided I can't be at the mercy of this industry anymore. And I thought, with all my background, I've been in banking, insurance, I was a finance manager. So with all of that, I thought I could take all of that, combine it, and offer my bookkeeping services, CFO services on a wider scale.
That's yeah, that's great background. It's so interesting because we have, even though we have people in all 50 states, I think we actually have the most in Texas. In my personal opinion, I think Texas is going to be the absolute best place to be if you project out 5 years. Where, like, if I was starting over, I'd want to be in Texas. You have massive farmland, tons of capital
Mhm.
from that oil and gas industry, um,
Yes.
and huge population. So it's going to be big there, no doubt, as well as hemp CBD. I was in oil and gas as well, and so know all about the Permian Basin. And it's really fun. There's a lot of parallels between the oil and gas industry and the cannabis industry. One that I've always seen, oil and gas accounting is extremely tricky. It took me, I was spent 10 years as a CFO, and it took me several years to even halfway figure it out. And the industry, and I think cannabis is the same way. It's very complicated. The difference was when I got into oil and gas, we had accountants trained out of Big Four and bigger firms, and then they rolled into jobs in the accounting or in the oil and gas field. So it was kind of from the top down. This is the other way around. We don't have Big Four, we don't have experts, et cetera. And so it's a very exciting and crazy niche. But you're right, there's going to be a ton of capital there as well. So you thought that, do you want to tell us real quick how you found our program and when you got started on that, and then we'll jump into kind of more about your practice.
Definitely. When I actually decided to try to niche down, which was in October of 2020, I started researching cannabis, hemp, CBD, and of course, Dope CFO was everywhere. Like, this is the best thing that you can do. So I started researching, watching reviews, reading, watching, listening to the podcast, all that good stuff, and met with you. And I was like, yes, this is the program for me. This is
Well,
going to be
that's
helpful.
awesome. Well, why don't you tell us too, what are some of the, and what I do love about our program. So right now, within this community of hundreds of us, all 50 states, we have a very, very diverse group of skill set, from bookkeepers, controllers, CFOs, CPAs, enrolled agents, MBAs, attorneys. We have every skill set, and then different people. Some people do insurance. Some people, we have realtors in the program. We have people that are experts in banking or valuations or assurance work. And so what I like is everyone brings some knowledge. And even I see bookkeepers in the program, maybe helping a CPA doing Zero or Accounting Suite or QuickBooks questions. And so I find that pretty much every last person has some unique things that you bring. And I mean, you already mentioned a couple, like being in banking. That's huge. So tell us kind of what you think you bring specifically to the niche and how you can help, like outside of just your normal accounting, what from your background would maybe help out in this niche?
Personally, for me, in any job where I ever had any type of managerial position or had people working under me, I always felt it was really important to know how to do their job as well as to do my job. Because if you understand working from the bottom, then you're going to have a lot less trouble at the top. And any
Yeah.
given time, I would be able to jump in. I could do AR, I could do AP, I could do payroll, I can do financial reports. I mean, all that stuff. And I think it makes for a more well-rounded, um, I would say, a well-rounded like service if you're doing that. Even if you're an employee for somebody, if you understand how your employees have to work, you're going to be a lot better boss. So,
Oh, I think so. That's great as well. And even the VIP part of our program too, of starting at day one and never ending, whether your career is 10 years or 20 years or whatever, of building that valuable expertise, being an instructor, participant, because our clients really appreciate learning all those roles within the accounting, but also just knowing their business, and they get it. They, oh, you're really just focused on this niche and you understand the products we sell and how they're made and the marketing issues or the software issues we have. And so they appreciate that we're not just doing data entry as well. Um, so that's great. So how can you best set up your clients for success from the get-go as soon as they reach out to you? So if someone reaches out to you today, are you prepared to really help them from start to finish?
absolutely. I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to actually offer very personalized service. So the first time you call, you're going to meet with me. If you sign up, you're going to meet with me. Next time you have a question about something in your bookkeeping, you're going to speak with me. It's not going to be some faceless person on the other side. You're not going to sign up with my firm and then I'm going to pass you off to, a junior accountant somewhere. It's going to be me. So you have a question, you can call me, email me, and it's going to be everything from, if you have a question about something in your QuickBooks, or if you have a question about your payroll, or you have an HR problem, I want to be that person that you feel like you can come to. You can trust me, I'm going to be there. And that's what I'm looking to do.
And so kind of along with that, we're talking about, so you're a one-stop shop for your clients. And what are the questions you help to ask people, help them give the full story of their financials and goals so they can, most of these business owners are really trying, they're passionate about this, about fulfilling their dreams of getting their products or medicine or whatever to the public and building their brand. But you feel like you can be a one-stop shop for them.
Yes, it's like you said, I mean, they have the passion and they have the courage to actually go in and start this business up, but not everybody understands the financial side and how big of an issue that can actually be for you in the future. So a lot of the times when you're asking somebody, hey, what kind of problems are you having right now in your accounting? Well, they might be like, well, my AR person doesn't doesn't put things into the right place, or they're not paying the bills on time. But if your accounts receivable is off, well, your accounts payable is going to be off because you're not going to have money to pay your bills, have money to pay your payroll. You're not going to have money to pay yourself. I mean, the financial picture is so huge, and people, I think, have a tendency to really overlook it, and it causes a lot of problems down the road. But really, it's just about listening to what the client thinks the problem is and what it actually means, like long term for them, big picture, and how
Yeah,
I can
that's
help with
great. And
that.
that is a great point, that helping them with that, literally everything from start to finish so that they can build, and especially in this industry. And I mean, again, it's similar to oil and gas. With oil and gas, you have usually in a company lots of investors and other people. So it's not just like working for the corner coffee shop where it's one owner and you're just helping them. You're not just taking care of that owner. Oftentimes you're taking care of their investors, lenders, et cetera. And so you're actually doing that business owner a huge favor to make sure their books are in shape, building that permanent audit trail like we do for all our clients in this out of this program so that they can have that support and their investors can take comfort. Okay, this cannabis company is taking care of our money. And a lot of investors in this space are super worried. They're reading stories about money misspent and bad reporting and criminal acts, et cetera. And so investors are there. There's a ton of money ready to come in, but they want to know that it's safe and protected, and also know that they expect the IRS is going to show up at some point to do an audit, or the states, and they want to know that it's ready as well. So I think that's going to be huge value that you're adding to your clients, and just being in that space. And I think the oil and gas mentality, another thing that they're going to get about you being in Texas, they know that oil and gas accounting is complicated. I get this question sometimes from other industries. Well, what's so complicated about cannabis accounting? Well, I can give you a lot of things. It's many sub niches of farming, chemical processing, manufacture, lab, distribution, retail, all within one company. And so those people are going to get it, that, yeah, this is complicated. We need to pay up for it. And they're used to paying a lot of money. Like, for example, I was a CFO of a, we did, I don't know, 10, 15 million a year in revenues, which is very common in cannabis. In my company, we took one floor of a building with 18 people on the floor, including the business owner, the geologist, the land people. Well, guess who took up most of that people? Out of the 18 people, I think 9 of us were accountants. We had a CFO, controller, 7 staff accountants. We took up half the building. So they get it that accounting was a huge cost. And on top of all that, we were paying Grant Thornton to do audits and tax returns. And so I think this industry is going to really, really get it. So you'll be positioned really well. Let's tell us maybe what made you decide to join the program, as you are researching different options or whatever.
Simply the fact that you guys offer not only um, work papers and help with getting things, chart of accounts and things like that, but basically the big selling point is the support that you offer with the program. So within the Facebook group, I go in there, check it a few times a day, set up notifications, just look at what everybody's doing, because like you said, there are CPAs, there are lawyers, there are accountants, there are enrolled agents. And even me myself, I've posted a few questions, and within a few minutes, within an hour, I'm getting a response, if not from you yourself, from somebody else in the group. And so just knowing that you have that to like lean back on and know, if you don't know the answer, because you should be smart enough to know that you don't know everything, because nobody does.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have a double check, somebody to back you up and be like, yeah, Josie, that is correct. Or, hey, don't do that, because you're going to get yourself and your clients in a lot of trouble. So that's a huge win.
Well, and that's another great point, the community aspect, because we have this collective knowledge. And so we can do many things. We can, get questions answered. I've posted in there myself about, I think I posted a question, which POS system do people like better, Flourish or FlowHub? And so we can brainstorm, we can share ideas, we can gather knowledge, we can get questions answered. Everyone's got different expertise, so it allows us, first of all, to compete with national firms. It actually reminds me of when I was at Price Waterhouse. If I had a question or was stuck, I knew already, and my clients knew, I could get any question under the sun answered, whether it could be anything. The same in our group. There is no question that someone can post legal, accounting, tax, operations, the best type of extract machine, whatever question you come up with will get answered in our group, because we have that depth of knowledge. And I think at this point, we have the premier depth of knowledge in the United States of America with our attorneys, CPAs, bookkeepers, et cetera, enrolled agents. I don't think anyone can touch us. And so our clients and business owners know that. They know they can access that deep knowledge base as well. I mean, even today, this morning, there's lots of discussion around the new 471C rule and different ways people are handling it. So it's, that's a great point as well. How about this question as follow-up? Have you enjoyed it so far? Has it helped you build your firm? I know you found the VIP and community to be great, but and feel free, you can say anything if there's things you don't like or what you need to help you build your firm. That's definitely my focus, is helping people that join and build a successful firm.
Yeah, definitely. No, that actually was, I agree with like what you're saying with the entire group that we have with us, that that lends something that we can pass on to our clients. I mean, the clients are going to recognize, hey, you know what, I'm not just paying for this one person, I'm just paying for her. You know, she has this huge amount of people behind her that I'm going to have access to, basically free access. um, and then as far as starting up, just the sense that everything is basically so well organized. I gotta say I love that because I love the small details. And so within the group, within the program, I'm like, yes, thank you. It tells you, I mean, basically step by step what you need to do. Like, and if you're in this month and you need to go back and you're like, I don't remember what we did, go back and look, ask the question, you know, check over the data, charts of accounts and all that good stuff, because that's huge for cannabis too. Everything is just, it's so well laid out and helpful. I'm really excited to
Well,
be part of
that's
the group.
awesome. I think, in my opinion, we just, when this is being recorded, we're just past the elections here. We're about to transition just in about a week to a fully democratic government from top to bottom, basically. And I think for cannabis, what that means is there's a very decent possibility that cannabis is going to come off Schedule 1 this year. If that happens, the floodgates are going to open and Texas is going to be, you're going to see it's going to be crazy. I mean, you might have
I'm
literally
hoping.
people beating your doors
I'm
down. I
hoping.
think it's going to be, I've been in now 5 years, and even when I got started, and it was just kind of Colorado, Oregon, and Washington really on the rec side. And just in 5 years, the growth has been crazy, even with the backdrop of people, even a few years ago, Jeff Sessions, the attorney general, saying he's going to shut down the industry and all this stuff. Nobody could stop it at this point. The floodgates are opening. And so I think we're going to look back at the end of this year and be like, wow, we're going to see a lot of change. So that is awesome. How about our last final question? What advice do you have to other bookkeepers or accounting professionals who are wanting to get into cannabis or CBD hemp and don't know where to start?
With this, since it is such an, I would say, like, intricate kind of niche, it's not something that you just want to pick up and go into because, like you said, it's still federally illegal. So there are a lot of rules, laws, tax laws, and all that stuff. Ask for help. Like, and if you can, if you do have the ability, I mean, if you're in a place right now to join Dope CFO, I would highly recommend it. It's a huge weight off my shoulders knowing that I have that. So but yeah, ask for help. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be too scared to think that you can't do it. Just jump in, start learning, research, you know, just keep reading, keep learning. And
Well, that's awesome. We are so excited, yeah, to have you in the program and to see, and we'll check back in as well at some point. And again, thank you so much for being on the show today. If you're out there listening and you want to, or you're a business owner, whatever, you're looking for someone, I'd highly recommend you can email me at b@dopecfo.com, be@dopecfo.com, and I'll put you in touch with Josie. Also, do you have an easy to remember email or link? Or if not, you can, like I said, email and I'll get you in touch with her. It'll also be in the show notes too, your contact info.
yes, my email is actually Mrs. Boss. That's mrs.boss@brainybookkeeper.com, or my website is www.brainybookkeeper.com.
That's awesome. And that's an easy one to remember. So yeah, remember that. And then if you're looking at an accountant or bookkeeper looking for more information about our program, you can find it all at dopecfo.com or email me there as well. And we will see you all in the next show.